And you spend a lot of time on Mille Lacs.
I do.
And you spend a lot of time on Mille Lacs with cameras, and you have a favorite camera that you like to use when you're out there.
I do.
Tell me about it.
I really like the Pursuit HDL. It's kind of just very versatile. I do a lot of running and gunning. So from a portability standpoint, it's great. I can throw it in my flip over, I can throw it in my hub house, but I can also throw it in my permanent shack as well. I'm able to put it up on the big screen TV. It comes with an HDMI dongle, so I can throw it up onto the big screen, which is awesome. As you're kind of just hanging out doing your thing, and be able to put it up on the 55-inch and have a good time. So entertainment factor is definitely there, but it's just a versatile camera, right? It does a little bit of everything. Being HD and wax is super clear, so you get to see everything, and you can probably see 20, 30 yards and kind of see the fish coming in. From versatility standpoint, it's the camera I definitely choose.
And one of the other reasons why you like it is how that camera works as far as being able to move that lens around from different angles. Let's grab one actually, as long as we're here.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we can show that to the audience that's watching on YouTube. So this is the camera itself. Show me how that works.
So we kind of came up with a new ratcheting system. I think it was 2 seasons ago now. Mm-hmm. So you have 360-degree versatility essentially. It's not very hard to kind of swap around the camera. So walleyes are finicky, obviously. Wax is super clear. So if you just hung your camera 2.5 feet, a foot off the bottom, walleyes aren't necessarily going to come in because they see it's a small camera, but it's still something that's foreign to them, right? Mm-hmm. So I either like to run it one of two ways. I'll try to sit up 3 or 4 feet off the bottom and just do a down view. So walleyes aren't necessarily seeing what I got going on. Or I fish a lot of rock to sand transitions. I'll bury it down in the rock, and then it sits on the bottom, and kind of do your up view. Mm-hmm. Twofold. You get a little bit more light. You're seeing what's kind of happening from the top. So I do get probably 15 to 20 extra minutes once it gets to a little bit later in the evening. But also burying it down in there, you get that top view, and the fish aren't necessarily going to see that. They're not worried about the cord, but having something foreign that's either it's a big camera or a small camera, it just doesn't matter. They're so finicky.
I like that up view, and it's something that really not many cameras out there can do that.
Yep.
And the reason that's cool about that up view, and you talked about it a little bit, is you shoot that straight down view. If you've got great conditions, you're able to see the fish.
Right.
But if it's not perfect, sometimes it's hard to see the fish along the backdrop of the bottom.
Absolutely.
But when you're pointing up, they're basically silhouetted against the white of the bottom of the ice.
Yep.
It just makes seeing those fish a lot easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even trying to judge on what size is, it's so much easier for that exact reason. You get to see what type of fish it is. You get to see how big it is. Like I said, kind of seeing down, you might be able to see that there's some stripes maybe on top of a walleye, but you don't really get what that feel is for how big they are. So
it's just much easier shooting up if you can get that angle, and you're talking, you're like, I've got that camera right down in the ground.
Yep, I bury it down there, and if things are getting a little bit slow, I kind of pound the bottom a little bit, create a little bit of commotion, get some of that dust up, kind of get some of those shrimp and that algae rolling. Works really good from a perch standpoint. Perch and walleye obviously like to hang around the same spots, especially on Mille Lacs. So I kind of do that, middle of the day if I'm not seeing much and it's getting a little bit slow. We'll create a little bit of commotion and do the deal. So.
You talked about the camera just having so many options, being able to hook it up to your big screen. But the other thing that this camera does that not all of them do, and really not very many of them do, is you've got the built-in recorder here.
Yep.
And so many of our lives right now, we like to be able to share this stuff.
Absolutely.
On our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our Snapchat.
Yep.
And you can do that with this camera.
Yep. It's got built-in MP4 recording. Takes a micro SD card and it records up to 128 gigs. So there's a lot of footage to be had. You can do actual recordings, you can do screen capture, so if you wanted to take a picture you could do that as well. Mm-hmm. Or just kind of record your entire fishing and go back and do some editing, or if you just have something cool going on, hit the record button and just get that little segment that you're looking for.
What's the battery life on this?
It's got an internal lithium battery, so give or take, I'd say somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. If you're in a hard house, a little bit longer. Obviously, it's a little bit warmer. If you're out negative 30 degrees, it kind of varies, but typically somewhere between 6 and 8 hours.
And you can plug in a external power source to this.
Yes.
so you can keep rolling if you want to keep rolling. That's real handy when you're in the portable. But when I'm out in my fish house and we're starting to get to a point where it's like, well, the battery's probably going to go, I just plug it in. And you can keep on rolling, keep on shooting, keep on using the product. So
yeah, I keep it plugged in constantly when I have it in the hard house, and no reason not to. It's not hurting the unit at all. Just keep it fully charged, and you can run all day long, and keep everybody entertained.
So our friends out there in the Fish House Nation, keep it plugged in, keep on rolling, just keep on using your camera and having that dongle to hook it up to the HDMI. Everybody wants that, to be able to put that full HD video up on the big screen. Some of those units, I see the people using the RCA converters, and it's like, well, that's great. It's going to kind of look like, I remember going to the garage sale and seeing the original NES. So you go out, you find that original NES system at the garage sale. You plug it into your TV, and you're like, holy crap, this stuff looks terrible. And that's pretty much what you're getting when you do that. So if you want to go to that big screen TV in your fish house, HD TV, you're going to want an HD camera. The Pursuit HD is really a great way to go. And having that versatile camera where you can go at lots of different angles is just, it makes it a lot more fun.
Translating that HD over on 1080p is, that's everything, right? SD still looks good up on the TV, absolutely, every single time, but 1080p to 1080p, just it looks like TV.
You get that crystal look on the TV.
You do.
Looks really nice. Alec, if people want to find out more about this camera or anything else from MarCum, where do they go?
Check us out at marcumtech.com. We got all the information that you need.
MarCumTech.com. You can check them on Facebook, on the IGs as well. Check it out. It's the Pursuit HD, and it's really one of my favorite cameras out of the ice.